Hello everyone, welcome to the Mammothon Tutorials. I hope you're all excited to get started. We're going to start off with a short introduction. So first of all, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Rebecca, I'm the Program Manager for the Mammothon from Encode Club. And I'll be in contact with you throughout the program, and if you have any questions at all, then I'm the person to ask. So just send me a message on Discord or by email, and I'll try my best to help you out in any way that I can. So at Encode Club, we're an education community. We help you learn, build and forge your careers in emerging technology. We do this through educational events like hackathons, public education series, boot camps and accelerators. And we hope those of you who are new and joining us from the Mammothon will stick around in our community as you build and grow, because we're really excited to be part of your journey. So let's talk about the Mammothon. It's a really simple process. You have 28 days to build and ship your projects and be in with a chance of winning part of the $250,000 prize pool. So that is huge. The prize pool is going to be split evenly between the top 10 teams across all idea tracks. Now, this is where the Mammothon is a special event. In the Mammothon, you don't have to come up with your own project concept. There are Celestia Ecosystem partners who have shared ideas on what they want to see built on their tech stack. So they've given you all the resources that you need to succeed. You can build unstoppable apps, you can craft on-chain worlds, and you can upgrade the internet. The last thing to mention about the Mammothon before we move on to the tutorials is that in order to participate, you must be in a team of 3 to 5 devs. If you've not already, please read your emails for information on how to build up your team or how to register the other team members in your team to make sure that you qualify to compete in the Mammothon. When we launch, we'll have over 30 ideas, which means a few more are going to be announced very soon, so keep an eye out for that. And each one comes with a matching tutorial. This is really important. We want to make sure that you have everything you need to start the Mammothon so that you succeed. In these workshops, you're going to get all the essential technical skills that you need, and you're going to have the opportunity to ask questions and clarify requirements with each of the idea partners. Okay, so that is everything from me. Let's jump right in.
Hello, hackers. I am Jessie. This session is about building an interwoven rollup on Initia, and welcome, and thanks for having me. Like I said, my name is Jessie, and I'm a DevRel at Initia. So before we start, for those of you who are not familiar with Initia, I'll briefly go over what Initia is and by introducing why you should build on Initia. So let's begin. The problem today is that the multi-chain experience is shitty. It's very bad. In the past, multi-chain networks have been very burdensome for users. There are hundreds of chains, adding new RPCs and wallets for each, different bridges, various types of gas fees, plenty of explorers. So the users instinctively understand that they need to use different systems, different interfaces, and it means to simply use various blockchains, and it's very burdensome. And the same can be said for developers too. To date, Cosmos has been the most powerful framework to build unique blockchains. You can see Berachain, Celestia, and etc. But it does not come without its faults. Each Cosmos chain is its own unique L1 with requirements for validator sets, native tokens to pay for security, the inflation of said token, and tons of peripheral infrastructure. And on the other hand, Rollups on Ethereum allows building teams to spin up applications easily, but they're very inflexible. They break interoperability with other ecosystems and often enforce the use of EVM. So while plenty of amazing teams have been building systems to connect these networks, like Layer 0 or Hyperlane, etc., there is still plenty of third-party services needed for like oracles, bridges, on-ramps, and etc. So, which is very, very inconvenient. In the modular features, this kind of fragmentation and complexity will only get worse, ultimately creating the most burden for end users. So the solution is to interweave. Here's what I mean. In one sentence, Initia is a network for interwoven rollups. This means that Initia's whole purpose is to support developers develop rollups on top of the L1 of Initia and making sure the said user experience for the entire ecosystem is smoothly running. So by a good multi-chain UX, we mean like Apple level of convenience. Initia reimagines this entire multi-chain ecosystem similar to the Apple design philosophy. So a platform that combines both a powerful and flexible tech stack with a well-crafted user experience that can back up. So just like how developers can, use whatever tech stack they want to, but also the users won't have to care about like what tech stack is behind an app you download on App Store. But also all of the apps that are on App Store will be able to use the infrastructure that Apple provides, like Face ID, in-app payment, and inter-app connection. Just like that, builders on Initia can use whatever tech stack, EVM, MoveVM, or WasmVM, you can develop with any smart contract language that you're comfortable with, but the users can experience the same UX that they are using as if it was one chain. All right. This is the entire tech stack of Initia. So the Initia layer 1 was built as an orchestration layer. It is used to coordinate security, liquidity, routing, and interoperability throughout the entire network of interwoven rollups on Initia. And also using the optimistic rollup framework, you can deploy rollups in EVM, MoveVM, or WasmVM, and securely scale utilizing the Celestia DA underneath. All right, so by building on Initia, you can just care about building. Just build, and Initia will do the rest. The first feature is minute swap. So usually optimistic rollups take 7 days, right? Around 7 days to withdraw tokens from the L2 to L1, which is a pain in the ass for users. Rollups on Initia can leverage the feature called minute swap, where with our internal logic, including a peg keeper, users can withdraw from L2 to L1 instantly. Also, every interwoven rollup has access to native USDC, enshrined oracles, instant bridging, cross-chain interoperability via IBC, fiat on-ramps, decentralized sequencers, DAO tooling, yada, 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 and more. So basically, it's a Black Friday sale for launching a chain. This is a tweet from our founder, Stan. Here's a breakdown for each category. Explorer, free. Native token issuance, free. Oracle, free. Bridge, free. Wallet, free. This means that within a shop, you can integrate any wallet like Kepler, Leap, Rappi, or MetaMask, anything. This is done through the Initia wallet widget, and all our rollups use the same UI, making users onboard more easily. And this is the economic structure that we interweave our rollups. It's called the VIP. So VIP is a way to economically align all players on Initia. So the end users, the L2s, and the Initia L1. VIP stands for Vested Interest Program, which basically means that the users who use each L2s actively will be rewarded through VIP with escrowed in it. So the more you use the chain, the more you earn. And finally, Initia supports all our L2s, and we believe that the L1 will win when the L2s win. That's why as a foundation, we support marketing for all our L2s. And as a team member, we dig in and promote, write researches, and hold community calls with all our projects on Initia. So no need for marketing, whatever, infrastructure. Initia will do everything else for you. Just build your project and let us do everything else. And secondly, most importantly, is that you can have your own chain with Initia. There's so many benefits for building a chain instead of a DApp, especially if you're planning to build DeFi. So for example, this is Echelon, one of our rollups. And Echelon is built as a rollup because they can customize transaction sequencing so that they can have their lenders and borrowers get better pricing and liquidators get tighter spreads. So basically having more freedom in their business logic. Another example, more general example, is that Osmosis, where they were originally a DApp on Cosmos based on the WasmVM contract. But however, as their ecosystem grew, they had growing needs for being an independent L1 because of their complicated logic. So instead, Osmosis built their own app chain, making their logic as the chain's core logic instead of a WasmVM contract. Similarly, Milky Way is an LST platform originally on Cosmos. It also integrated their core LST logic within the chain to deploy on Initia to smoothly execute their business logic and securely expand their ecosystem. And finally, like Kamigachi or Civicia on Initia, Kamigachi is an idle game, and Civicia is like a monopoly like board game stuff. So like Kamigachi or Civicia, you can build a fully on-chain game utilizing the Interwoven stack. So here are some pros of building your own chain. And here are some possible ideas for this hackathon. We have a big group of two, a DeFi protocol or a social or AI application. So for a DeFi protocol, ideas could be, oh, I'm not limiting to these ideas, but it could help as a starting point for you. So ideas could be like a perp DEX, yield trading like Pendle, options, derivatives, DeFi, right? Or if not a DeFi, you could use something AI-based because AI and blockchain is like a hot topic right now. So AI-powered prediction markets, AI games, on-chain social apps, or like SocialFi, X2Earn, fun stuff, right? And no matter what you do, these should be built on the Interwoven stack in EVM, MoveVM, or WasmVM. And bonus points for leveraging the Initia VIP, like what I explained earlier, utilizing enshrined liquidity, and more. More specific instructions will be out later. Okay, so finally, I've told you what Initia is and why you should build on Initia. Finally, you should build on Initia because it is so easy to build. Here's what I mean. This is called the weave, a CLI command for managing Initia developments. So what you can do with weave, you can run Initia L1 node, you can launch an interwoven rollup, you can run OP init bots, and you can run relayers very easily with weave. So today, I'll toss the mic to Harvey, who will demonstrate spinning up an L2 on Initia live. I'll stop sharing my screen, and Harvey, you can go.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. And I will going to show up the short demo for you guys. And I will introduce what is Weave and how we can bootstrap your own chain with this kind of CLR tool. And first of all, I will share the GitHub repository that we publicly opened last week. It's a it's a Weave repository, and Weave is a CLR tool, the bootstrapping add-on node and L2 node very easily. And also in our ecosystem, we are use a special bridge system like OP-init bots and relayer, and we also set up them very easily. And I will show the demo. And the first thing you have to do is just patching the GitHub repository on your local machine. And we will deploy this kind of CLR tool on Brew on the Mac for you guys to install very easily. But right now, we will do it manually like this way. So what we have to do is just pull the main branch, and then let's check out the latest version on the repository. Okay. Right now it will be 004 version, but maybe I think next week we will publicly open the version 1, I think. So after that, we can install on your local machine, like make install. Then we can check our Weave version like this way. So the Weave CLR tool is installed correctly, and then we're gonna check what kind of command we can do with this tool. As you can see, we have lots of available commands, and there will be a analytic, a gas station, and init. And we have some Initia and OP-init command, and these are used for bootstrapping your add-on node or starting your bridge bot. And let's start the bootstrapping the layer 1 node. So first, you have to run a init command, and then we have 4 options. The one is running your add-on node, and if you select that, and first we have to choose what kind of network will you participate in. Right now we have a public testnet which chain ID is initiation 2, but I think after our mainnet is launched, there will be the mainnet or some other extra testnet, I guess. So let's move on the testnet. Okay, then next step, we have to set up our local node moniker. You know, a moniker is kind of a nickname that distinguishes with other global network node. So you can use your own name, like Mammoth. So let's use this one. And then we have to allow some options that what we enable for our node. We have 2 options right now. The one is left, and the other one is gRPC. And the left is used for pulling data from the local node And gRPC is basically used for communicating with other global network node. So I will enable these two options. And then next step, we also have to specify seeds. And a seed is a node you connect to for a short period of time to get updated peers. So our public repository have the seed node information. So what you have to do is just press tab key, and then it's gonna get the seed info from our public repo. So, and then next step, we have to set up the persistent peer, and it also we can get from the official repository. So just move on tab. Then you have to select a pruning strategy, and we have three options. If you choose nothing, it will not keep any block state. No. It will store every block state on your local DB, and you can query all historical data, but the storage will be very big. And if you choose the everything option, then your node will pruning all data, and then it very storage efficiency, but I think you have to use another node to query the historical data. So we recommend to use the default option, and it will use it will keep 30,000 blocks, and you can query in that block interval. So let's use default option. And the next one is Cosmovisor, and when there's a software upgrade in the node, this Cosmovisor options will enable automatic upgrades on your node. So I highly recommend you to choose the yes option for this one. So after that, we will initialize our app, and it will take some time. And then right now we have three options for syncing option. And if you choose snapshot, it will patch the snapshot DB from the network, and then it will unzip, and then your local DB will be replaced with the snapshot data. So if you just use state sync, then it will start from the 0 height, and I think it takes pretty lots of time. So I recommend you to choose snapshot option, and then we also get the snapshot endpoint from the public API server. So just use a tab key for this one, and then this is all you have to do. After this snapshot is downloaded on your local machine, and you can unzip and you can launch your own layer 1 node. Actually, this kind of stuff very useful for validator or someone who want to query their own dedicated node for purpose like arbitrage or indexing some events. So I will just skip this moment because we are not that much interested in just thinking with layer 1 node. What we are right now very interested in is bootstrapping your own chain node, right? So I will move on to the next step. And we have a next step. We will bootstrap our own local chain. We call it the rollup node. And let's move on this step. Okay, it's almost same with the bootstrapping layer 1 node. We have to select what kind of layer 1 network you will gonna connect. So I will choose the testnet, and then if you are familiar with EVM, then you will choose your app chain to use the EVM for the virtual machine. But if you are more familiar with Cosmos ecosystem, and then you might use a WasmVM for your rollup, right? So I will use the EVM right now, and then yes, the next step we have to choose our own chain ID. Actually, when we bootstrapping the layer 1 node, the chain ID will be fixed as an initiation 2, right? But we are going to running our own node. So we have to choose our rollup chain ID also. So I will use Mammoth-1 as a rollup chain ID. And then basically the layer 1 use a uinit as a gas denom, but we have to set our own gas denom. So I'm gonna use a utia as a gas denom. And then also we have to use our node moniker, and I just gonna use operator as a name. Okay, so this is pretty important part Interwoven for Interwoven stack. So it's almost same with the OP stack. So the first option is submission interval, and this means that how many time, how the submission interval means a time interval that submitting L2 data onto L1. So if you set it very shortly, it will take lots of gas to submitting data. So right now we are going to just testing propose. So I will use just 1 minute for this one. And the other config is output finalized time. And it's basically a similar concept used in OP stack. So we call it challenge period. So if we set as a 7 days, the challenger have to monitor the layer 2 malicious activity, and then they have to claim that activity in this period. So normally it used 7 days, so I will use 7 days also. Then we have to also select what kind of data layer view we're gonna use. So if you use Celestia, the L2 block state will be stored into the Celestia. And if you use Initia add-on, the block data on your L2 will be stored on Initia. Right now, I don't have, if you use Celestia, you have to have a Celestia token to relay your block data. But right now, I don't have Celestia POSIT testnet token, so I will use the Initia add-on as a DA layer. And then we can also choose whether we're gonna enable Oracle price bid from add-on. And the Oracle, if you choose enable, then you can use the Oracle price from your own app chain. It's very simple and easy. And then we just set up all configs that are used in our layer 2. Then what we have to do right now is just generating the system key. A system key is a kind of the mnemonic keys that used in Interwoven stack, and they are consist of operator or bridge executor and other things. So I'm gonna just make a new system key. So let me use the first option. Then, okay, the keys are generated, and we have to fund our gas station account. The gas station account is a dedicated account that fund all this kind of boats seamlessly, you know. So you have to get a fund from our POSIT. So let's go to our POSIT site, and then if you type the gas station account, then it will get a testnet token from the layer 1, and then you can bootstrap your app chain. If you will gonna bootstrap on the mainnet, you have to own the mainnet init token. You have to keep in mind. And then the gas station will distribute the tokens on bridge executor or challengers and other bots. So, and then if I press enter, then we have to set what kind of address we will gonna feed whitelist. So I think I just want to make my gas station account as a be whitelist account. So, or if you want to make other account, you can just type separate with comma and do like this way. And okay, after that, we have to set what kind of account will be in the Genesis account. In the Genesis account, we can fund or token before bootstrapping or node. So normally we fund the gas station account to Genesis account. So I just choose option yes, and then I will enter what kind of Genesis balance will be on the gas station account. Let me use the 9009090 Utia on this account. And if you want to fund other account, then you can also add your Genesis account in this step. I just gonna use no option, and I can see my gas station account is funded like this way, and you can see our system key is mnemonic like this way. Okay, so everything's looking good, and then I will move on next step. Okay. After in this step, the weave, we're gonna make a transactions that be whitelisting or connecting with layer 1 and other things. So you can see the pull log like this way. And if this all step is finished, then now you can running your bridge bot called OpenIT bot and the IBC layer. So I will wait this step right now. And if everything's work, we can connect our local chain on the Initia scan. So Initia scan is a explorer that mainly used in Initia, and I will connect our local chain, and we're gonna check everything's okay or not. Okay, so okay, I think it takes a little bit time, so just make a add custom Initia right now, like this way. So we can add our local chain information into Initia scan. And what we did is just we used the EVM, and then we have to set our node information on here. And normally the JSON RPC port is 0545, and the Initia name is let's just use a Mammoth, and the LCD URL is what we enable, the left URL, and its port usually 1317, and the RPC URL will be 7. It's basically set like this way by default. So if you do not change anything when you bootstrapping the layer 2, you can just use it like this way. And then we use our chain ID as a Mammoth-1, so we can set like this way. And the registry chain name is determined on our initial registry. And this repository is publicly opened. And if you want to integrate with our Initia scan natively, you have to make a PR on this repository. And after we review it, your chain will be integrated in our Initia scan. So right now we do not make a PR for that. So let's just keep it as a Mammoth. And then move on next step. And we used our token as a Utia. So set as a Utia. And let me check. Okay, our setup seems all finished, and we can check log with a weave log command, and seems like a node is operating very well. So our current block height seems like 48, and let's connect with Initia scan. All right, and save the option and go to our chain. Okay, we can see our latest height like this way, and let's check our gas station account is funded correctly. If you use this kind of command, you can see your gas station account address and balance like this way. And I copied my gas station account, and then if I type on here, and then we can see our TIA is funded correctly as we made during the Genesis account. So, all right, it looks very good, and the node is working well. And the things you can do after that is learning bridges. Okay, we have two bridges. One is opening boats, and the other is layer. And let's just setting a layer. Okay, we just bootstrapped our Mammoth-1 node on a local machine. So I will use this option, and then if you just tap, and then it will subscribe. It will make a IBC bridge between the L1 and L2. And if we allow every option, then it will automatically enable the transport and NFT transfer channel between L1 and L2. And what we have to do is what kind of a layer mnemonic will be used. And we highly recommend you to use a challenger key as a layer mnemonic. So I will use predetermined the key. So just type yes. Okay, then everything looks good. And if we start a layer like this way, and then the setup process is going on, our weave will be make a channel between L1 and L2, and it will if the layer both is working well, then we can bridge L1 asset to L2 and vice versa. So seems working good. And after setting up layer, we can also set up OPNE both. And then if your chain is whitelisted on by L1 governance, then you are eligible to get VIP reward and mini swap and so on. So, okay. Hold a second. And if the setup is done, okay, everything's good. Also, if you want to integrate with our chain, our wallet app, you can also go to our Manage My Initia tab, and you can add your chain information like this way. And if you put your chain data and generate the JSON data, then you can see your wallet, or you can see your wallet balance, and you can also send to where you want to send. So, okay, Weave is very useful tool for integrating with Initia ecosystem, and it can also bootstrapping node and also many very useful bots. Okay, and it seems like the client is valid, and since node is working, and if we check the log, and Okay, everything, both is working well, and we load up code. The node is also working well. Okay. All right. So this is all we prepared for this tutorial session, and thanks for listening. And if you have any question about Initia and need a technical support, just feel free to ask to Jesse and me. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey. In the comment section, I will leave addresses for our Twitter, Harvey's Twitter, my Twitter, and our Discord channel, so that if any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach us. And good luck on hacking.
Thank you, both of you, for this tutorial. I see, Jesse, you've kind of been responding in chat you've been talking to Mohammed, but there were also some questions earlier on, and I think we have about 4 minutes, so possibly some time to get a live answer, especially for the recording as well, for those who couldn't make it live. So Mohammed asked, does Initia have or offer account abstraction?
Actually, we do not support account abstraction right now.
Okay, good to know. Simon says, building on Initia sounds great. Sounds like a great option, but as a developer, is the experience different to what we're used to, or do you have to change your workflow?
Okay, sorry. Could you say again, please? I just missed.
It's in the top of the chat if you want to read it yourself. It's about the 7th message. Simon says, building on Initia sounds great. Is the experience, I guess, building different to what a developer would be used to, or do they continue with their same workflow, just building on Initia instead of somewhere else?
Sorry, where is the cache? Wait a minute. Sorry, I think my network is not good, so I just missed the question.
Okay, don't worry. We'll skip that one for now. Mohammed was asking Jesse, is there any open source examples of implementations on Initia that people can look at? I think he was saying for people who kind of learn through examples. Is there any repos that people should take a look at for? Oh, thanks, Josh, for copying the question in chat. It's at the bottom of the chat now, Harvey, if you can see it.
Oh, okay. Building on Initia sounds like a great option, but as developers, it's different to what we are used to. I think there's lots of ecosystem like Dimension or Arbitrum or something else. But at that ecosystem, I think we cannot choose what kind of VM we can choose. Like MoveVM, WasmVM is other option. And also, as Jesse said in the section, it's really good to have your own app chain. It's very different experience in developing process. If you're building your dApp on other chain, you are fundamentally depend on that chain, and your service will be suffered from network issue and other things. So I think owning your own app chain is really important. That's what we want.
Okay. Kay asked in the session, Jesse did respond, but I'm just going to read out the question for the recording. Kay asked, for the Mammothon, do we submit data to Initia L1 or Celestia? So I think this is when you were going through the options, making your chain. And Jesse responded, since it's the Mammothon, submitting to Celestia would be ideal, but more detailed information will be shared later. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be added to the hacker pack when it comes out. So you'll, you can find it there. Mohammed says his question was summarized by Jesse perfectly. Are you looking for open source rollups to use as a reference? Any examples of this would be great. Are you able to provide any open source rollups?
I can answer this. Since all the rollups that are building on Initia are like individual, like independent teams, and we are not like developing for them, they have their own repos. So I think they're not open source yet. But if I do find, I will let you know. So please contact our Discord or maybe like open a ticket about this. I'll help you if I can, if I find one.
Great, thank you, Jessie. And actually, that brings us perfectly to the end of the time for the Initia workshop. So thank you both for joining us.